All right, welcome to the ongoing adventures of Dare 3 Whiskey Bravo. We are en route from John Wayne, Orange County, KSNA, throttle back here, KSNA to Cedar City, Utah. Quick flight, about an hour and 15 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. And very rough. A lot of turbulence on this flight. Planes everywhere. Boom, 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 boom. That's Lake Mead. Lake Mead, we passed over Vegas a few minutes ago. So the real traffic feature is really something. Current flight time is 56 minutes, and we are about 20 minutes or so from our destination. Yeah, 21 minutes. That actually probably translates more to about 24 minutes. I like doing these little half-hour episodes. These approaches are very interesting, I'll tell you. Yesterday into John Wayne was an adventure. We, if you recall, were just ordered to descend too quickly. And we weren't able to descend to the altitudes we were told to descend to in any realistic time, so we had to make some corrections. We'll see what happens this time. We're, as I said, headed to Cedar City, Utah, regional airport, overwhelmingly catering just to general aviation. Just correcting our descent altitude to 210. Headed into runway 20, which happily enough is an ILS runway. So let's go ahead and program in our ILS frequency. Press the navcom button, audio and radios. Frequency is 11. I wrote it down. 110.1. It's the ILS frequency. Do nav 2. Whoops. Let's see what I made a mistake. Programmed the ILS into nav 2. I want to have it at nav 1. And then we'll do the nav 2, which is the VOR DME, which is not at the airport, but it is near it. 117.3. Okay. We got that taken care of. Switch back to the MFD screen, and we'll go over here to PFD settings. Bearing 1, no data. Kind of expect that, given our distance from the airport. Bearing 2. 86 miles from the VOR DME, which again, pretty consistent. Kind of what I would expect. I like the name of our next waypoint, official published waypoint, Zany, Z-A-I-N-Y, Zulu, Alpha, India, November, Yankee. It's funny. Almost over St. George, Utah. Had a nice tailwind on this flight, still do, 19 knots, got up to about 30. Look at all the airplanes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow. I've been monitoring some of the ATC when they call out the various aircraft. And sure enough, they're all inbound to LAX, inbound to Ontario, Fresno. Down to 9,100 here.
Descend and maintain 9,100 feet. Expect ILS runway 20. Approach by Echo Hotel Kilo 28. Trade radial 107 DMER. Clear to Echo Hotel Kilo. Her Trade Whiskey Bravo.
So I've check the approach plates and details about the airport. The airport elevation 5,622 feet, so it's a pretty high altitude airport. I think very similar to Sedona, which is also about 5,000. Approach course is 200 to the runway. Runway length 8,650 feet. Got our missed approach information already pre-programmed or noted. Just to climb to 6,100, right turn to 9,900 and a heading of 322. Our minimums are 5,960. Let's go ahead and do that now. Minimums. Barometric 5,960. Enter. Good. That's taken care of. Check our distance to our next waypoint. Our next waypoint is 72 miles away. And more importantly, 13 minutes. So we're descending at 2,000 feet per minute. 13 times 2 is 26. Well, we're descending at 2,000 feet per minute. In 13 minutes, we would descend way more than we need to. So we'll shallow out our descent rate here. Although I'm noticing something interesting here. Our estimated time en route. Trying to figure out why it may be going up because I just slowed our aircraft speed, so the autopilot is recomputing how far away it is based on the fact that we're going slow. Yes, I think that's what's going on. We're not going slow, but we're going slower. Quite a bit of chop. I mean, it is been kind of bouncy this whole flight. We'll sync our heading, bud. And actually, what we'll do is turn our heading. So we'll set our heading bug to 200, which is our approach course. And then 2987 is, according to ForeFlight, the nearest altimeter. Let's see if that's correct. This is always a fun little activity. 2987. Let's reset it to 2987. Then we'll press the B key and see how close it is. Zoom in with me. Let's see if that is correct or not. B key now. No, 2986, no way. That's great. It's always more satisfying when you're downloading, when you know that the sim is downloading basically real-time weather. Anyway, our next waypoint, Jepil, is 13 minutes away. So we're at 17,000 feet, descending at 900 feet per minute. We descend 900 feet per minute. Well, in 10 minutes, we would descend 9,000 feet, and we know we're 13 minutes from our next waypoint, so we can shallow out our descent rate even more, because we do not need to descend 9,000 feet down from where we are. We've been told to descend to 9,100, so we really only need to shed about 7,000 more feet. Again, a little quick math, 13 minutes away, although I am slowing this airplane based on yesterday's incident at John Wayne. I just want to have enough time to descend and not come in too hot where it where we end up, you know, turning final and just too high to expect any realistic chance of landing. So we're at 16,000 feet now, descending 9,100. Showing about 12 and a half minutes, 12 minutes, 47 seconds from Jepil. Descending at 700 feet per minute. Again, remember, we're at 16,000. We need to be at 9,000 at Jepil. And as I may have mentioned already, Jepil, I should point out, is the IAF, the initial approach fix. The next waypoint after Jepil is Hisdu. If I can press the V key, I would show you this, but it'll crash if I do. But you can still kind of see it here. Jepil, that's where we're going. That's the initial approach fix. Hisdu, this is how our approach is, by the way. We're heading this way, and then we're going to make a U-turn and land.
Whiskey Bravo, please expedite expedite your descent to 9,100 feet.
So they're hurrying us down to 9,100 feet, even though we don't need to be hurried down there. Yesterday they didn't descend me fast enough. Now they're trying to descend me too much. That's funny. Anyway, Jetbill is the initial approach fix, and then his due is the next waypoint after Jetbill, and at least published waypoint. And when we get from his to his due, we need to be at 8,100 feet. So here we need to be at 9,100 according to ATC, and here we need to be at 8,100. And then KCDC is the airport proper. Take a look at our CDI. Our course deviation indicator, this blue arrow, is pointing towards the airport. Although, as I mentioned, the VORDME transmitter that we're tuned into is, as I recall my study of the charts, northwest of the northwest of the airport. We're in non-icing conditions. I don't know why my windshield icing was on. That was unnecessary. Go ahead and turn on our initial separator at this point early, but I like anything that'll help me slow down. No icing conditions though. Outside air temperature is 11 degrees and only going up. KIAS, knots indicated airspeed showing 194 right now. 193. Doing about 243 knots across the ground, about 270 miles an hour. Winds are from behind us, so we still have that tailwind, which makes sense. The weather data apparently was correct, because if the wind is behind us right now, well, then when we turn around to land, we'll be headed straight into the wind, which is kind of what you want. If you have any kind of wind at all, you would prefer to land into it as opposed to having it at your tail. Showing about 10 minutes now from Jetbill. Our approach descent profile right now looks good. I've never landed at this airport before, but just looking at our numbers, we're 41 miles from Jetbill. So I think that's a sign that we can increase our airspeed and therefore reduce our estimated time en route. And if you see what's happening here? See how much faster that's going down now? I increased our airspeed, so the computer, the autopilot computer, is recomputing how long it'll take us to get there based on our increased speed. KIS now, knots indicator speed now at 198, 199, 200. The approach we're taking is not especially mountainous. If you look, we're headed over mountains right now, but in terms of our actual approach, not particularly threatening. Although you'll notice when we turn final, I expect you'll see out the left side of the aircraft some pretty dramatic mountains. There are 11,000 feet peaks in the vicinity. Lots of airplanes showing up on the MFD, but these are all high altitude airplanes going somewhere other than where we are. There you go. So on our current track, these peaks aren't a threat. If I were scraping the top of those peaks, I'd be a little nervous right now. But we're just west of them. Although there is some more down there. See those trees. But we're going to clear this terrain here momentarily. Still dealing with chop. Showing us now 8 minutes from our initial approach fix. Perfect weather today. Been no issues on weather. In fact, I don't think we've flown through a cloud other than on our takeoff out of John Wayne. Bouncing around up here quite a bit, but yeah, out of John Wayne today, weather was very typical for a fall afternoon. I mentioned before, we get the sea breeze that kicks in here in Orange County, south of LA, about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and it brings with it the marine layer. So I climbed out of that marine layer, but that was not much. And heck, we haven't seen it in so long. We're happy to have it back. Beautiful terrain. Kind of funny to be back flying on this in the mountains. I've been doing the Caribbean and Central America, and kind of missed the beauty of this portion of the western United States, the Rocky Mountains, and headed now obviously towards the Great Basin. Salt Lake City's that way, out there somewhere. But Dare 3 Whiskey Bravo continues to deliver, and we're loving it. JetBill now about 6 minutes away, the initial approach fix, and we're descending through 9,300 for 9,100. That RA figure references our altitude above ground level versus above sea level. So 2,194. You'll see it changes rapidly depending on the terrain over which you are flying. Obviously, if you're flying over flat terrain, this will remain pretty steady. If you're flying over mountainous terrain, it'll move with the terrain beneath the aircraft. So I wanted to go to Cedar City because I was figuring it would be part of my tour of Zion National Park. I think it's, yeah, Zion National Park, not Zion National Forest. Whether I do a sightseeing tour of Zion or not remains to be seen, but that's what I'm imagining. I already booked my hotel room in Cedar City. The Big Yellow Inn. Never been to Cedar City, probably will never go to Cedar City. But this is one of the things I do in this world, this pandemic world, as I imagine actually flying.
3 Whiskey Bravo, contact Salt Lake Center on 125.575.
25.575 here at Whiskey Bravo today.
Going to Albany 25.575 Docker Trey Whiskey Bravo.
See, this will switch. There you go.
Salt Lake Center Docker November 34 Trey Whiskey Bravo 9,100 feet.
Docker November 34 Trey Whiskey Bravo, Salt Lake Center, continue to Echo Hotel Kilo as planned. Altimeter 29.96.
So this, I don't know if you heard that, continue to Echo Hotel Kilo. It actually cleared us straight to the Echo Hotel Kilo, which is the VOR DME that I referenced earlier being north-northwest of the airport. But I'm going to stick with my pre-programmed flight plan because it's not a significant deviation. We'll see if it messes with ATC or not, the fact that I'm not going to go straight to Echo Hotel Kilo. That instead I'm going to go like this instead of like this. I just feel like it would be an easier approach to manage if I can go like this instead of straight to EHK and then this weird hard right turn. So we're 9,100 right now. I don't have to sweat bullets with a nice published approach like this, a published precision approach. I don't have to worry about whether I'm too high or too low, because I know for a fact that I don't need to be at 8. I need to be at 8,100 feet at his due. So it takes the guesswork out of it to have a published precision approach like this, because I don't have to sit here biting my nails wondering whether ATC's forgotten about me. I'm at 9,100 feet right now, and I don't have to be at 8,100 feet until I get to his due. You know, on second thought, what I think I'll probably do is once I get to JetBill, I'll fly direct to his due and then make the right turn, because I don't know that I need to do all of this when there's only 1,000 feet between my current altitude and the altitude I need to be at when I get to his due. So that's probably what I'll do. So it's similar to flying direct to Echo Hotel Kilo, but instead I'll get to JetBill, which is the initial approach fix, make a right turn to his due, and then turn right to final. Airport's right out there. There it is. I don't know if you can see the runway and the lights flashing. But that's where we will be in about 6 minutes? 7 minutes? I don't know. I try to make these videos that no one watches roughly about a half an hour. So when we get to JetBill or close to JetBill, I'll switch off of nav mode, because right now the autopilot is flying the pre-programmed autopilot route. I'll switch over to heading and use the heading bug to turn us towards his due. In anticipation of that, we'll move the heading bug in the direction, roughly, that we'll have to turn to get to his due. Once we get to his due, we'll switch off of the nav source FMS. We'll switch that to nav 1, which should link us to the ILS frequency. We are still not getting any distance information, although it is receiving information from the ILS transmitter. We're not getting actual distance information.
Scotland 4282 is out of 15,600 feet for 10,000 feet.
So we'll make our right turn now as we close in on JetBill.
Salt Lake Center continuous planned.
SkyWest,
Altimeter 29.98.
there's a chance this guy is going to the same airport that we are. SkyWest does service Cedar City. Alright, so we'll switch on heading mode, and now you watch as the airplane turns right. Start slowing us down now a little more. We're going to turn right towards his due, just remember. And remember, our altitude we need to be at his due is 8,100 feet, so we'll change our altitude selector to 8,100, and then we'll initiate a descent. Let's start with 500 feet per minute. Yeah, I'm very curious if this guy right here, he might be doing the same thing we're doing. This could be interesting. And this guy too. Who's this guy?
American 108 Tree Salt Lake Center continuous planned.
Closing in on his due now. You can see that here. Just as I said, instead of doing all this, we're just doing this. Once we get near his due, we'll make that right turn. This guy I'm concerned about. Not seeing anything out the windows, but as any good aviator will tell you, that doesn't mean anything. While we're making this turn towards his due, we'll activate our ILS. Still no distance information, but it is receiving the localizer information here, as you can see. Kind of wondering why there's two blue Make sure I got the correct ILS information. 110.1. Yeah, well, it's there. All right, well, let's keep a sharp eye. See the green CDI showing the direction of the airport correctly. So we're at 8230 now, altitude-wise. So we need to be at 8100 when we get to here to his due. Then we'll make a right turn, which is much less sharp than it would have been if we'd gone straight to Echo Hotel Kilo and then like that. Instead, we're now doing this. It'll enable a smoother right turn.
Delta 3 Whiskey Bravo, descend and maintain 8,100 feet.
I'm already there, buddy boy. Once they clear me direct to Echo Hotel Kilo, I started my descent. They didn't tell me not to.
Delta 3 Whiskey Bravo, you are 900 miles north of Kilo Charlie Delta Charlie.
Okay, thank you for that.
Doppler 3 Whiskey Bravo.
We know that it's
Kilo Charlie Delta
our
Charlie
next
traffic
descent
Doppler
altitude
November
is
343
Seho,
Whiskey Bravo 900 miles north inbound ILS runway 20.
and at Seho we need to be at 7,800 feet. So let's continue our
Kilo
descent.
Charlie Delta Charlie traffic Doppler November 343
And let's start our right
Whiskey
turn.
Bravo is on final runway 20 to land.
And we know we need to be at 20. We won't turn quite to 20 because we would like to intercept the localizer if we're able to. Finding it a little strange that I'm not getting any specific distance information. But we're okay. Everything looks okay so far. 9 miles out. Hey, now that we're on final, or close to it, we're gonna... Oh, there it is. We'll press the approach button. See if it handles the approach. It doesn't appear to be. Just trying a couple things here. Everything's good. We're okay still. Landing gear. It does appear to be making that left turn to intercept the localizer, which is always encouraging. I'd be a lot more at ease if I had distance information. But I have irrefutable evidence that it is. And it just grabbed the localizer on the glide slope. So we're in good shape. See the GS now, the screen. So while I don't have... Should make a right turn here momentarily. At least I hope it does. Here it goes. And there's the airport. We got 3 whites and 1 red, so we're good on. I mean, we don't have any issues on our approach, or our approach altitude rather. Go ahead and do our flaps now that we're in the white tape. So, kind of an interesting approach, but well, I guess I shouldn't count my chickens until they hatch, but things are going well. Watch that airspeed there. Drops so precipitously once you deploy full flaps. You really got to stay on it. I've stabilized it now at 81. Let's get it up to 85. Let's pop up in the seat just a bit. There you go. This green diamond, remember, this green diamond is telling us where we are on the glide slope. So by being a little bit low on these 4 dots, it's on the second one up from the bottom, that means we're a little high. I might say counterintuitive, but airspeed's good now, 86 knots, 85. 2 mile final. I'm showing 1 red, 3 whites on the poppies, the precision approach path indicator, red, white, white, white. That's just about to turn red on the second one there. We should have 2 reds and 2 whites here momentarily, which is consistent with the green diamond evening up there in the middle. And in fact, we do now have 2 red and 2 white. Reconfirm gear down. Should have gotten those landing lights on, but that's okay. Better late than never. And with a beautiful day like this, autopilot disengaged.
Going
500 AGL. Free in the green. Beautiful day. Wow. Hot out though. 31 degrees up here. Cedar City, Utah. 3 reds. 2 reds. Good. We approach the runway. We'll reconfirm runway 20. Not that we're going to land on the wrong runway or at the wrong airport out here in the desert, but still got good lights on the poppies. 20 now confirmed. Looking good. And idle. Flare. Nice. Very slight wind. 2 knots from the east. Nothing that's going to affect us. No need for reverse thrusters on a 9,000 foot runway like this. Do about decelerating now without even having to use the brakes. 45 knots, 44 knots. Should get we'll have to make our turn ourselves here. There is a tower at this airport, according to my information, but it operates from sunrise to sunset. But I didn't hear any helpful information there, so from the tower, that is. So I'll draw certain inferences from that. Let's clean up our airplane here while we're thinking about it. Flaps, and turn off our inertial separator. Actually, you know what? While we're on the ground, let's leave that on. That inertial separator is basically a filter to keep junk out of the engine. All right. So we'll use our MFD here. You can also use your ForeFlight app to kind of see the layout of the airport. So we've just exited right here. So obviously we're going to hang a left this way. There's no reason to go drag our asses all the way back over here. We'll head over here, kind of look for an area that looks like GA parking. According to the ForeFlight app, this is the terminal, and then the GA parking is over here, and this right here is a helipad. So let's make sure we don't park on the helipad. The FBO, fixed base of operations, according to the ForeFlight app, is right here. Right here. So let's head over to this general area. This necessitate us to not. These taxiways all have labels. This is taxiway Charlie. This is taxiway Alpha. But we just have to use our imaginations in terms of how to traverse them, because Flight Sim is not great on labeling them as they would be in real life with yellow signs that sit right next to the taxiway. In any event, you can see, just as we were looking, this is Alpha and this is Charlie. So we'll go on Charlie now that we're ready to taxi. We'll just reconfirm whether there are ground services or not. There are no ground services, but we will announce that we're clear of the runway.
Kilo Charlie Delta Charlie traffic Docker November Tree 4 Tree Whiskey Bravo is clear of the runway.
All right, so that's how you'd conduct yourself if there was no tower. You would just sort of announce where you were and what you were doing, so that other aircraft in the area who are on the same frequency would know. Kind of keep an eye out. I love the shadow of the plane. Okay, so we're on taxiway Charlie now. this building over here, again, I'm just not inferring, I'm determining all this just based on publicly available information, that's the terminal. And it looks like it. Cars parked there. While this is no LAX, it's not an insignificant airport for the area. I mean, it does have commercial service, and it's, I think if I recall what I saw in terms of its passenger numbers, I think it's like 85,000 passengers a year. So obviously small, but not some grass strip in the middle of nowhere either. So we're just going to taxi over. I'm following my ForeFlight app, just instrumental, no pun intended. Very helpful to have it, because it really, I mean, imagine having only what you can see right now on the screen in front of you, trying to figure out where to go, where to park, and so forth. I do see other aircraft, perhaps rather humorously, parked on what we know to be a helipad. I do see ground crew over there. You know, I'm a big believer in blending real life with sim life, and if I see somebody over there that's willing to help me park, gosh, maybe I ought to let them help me park. On the other hand, you have to be serious about this stuff, and I'm not parking on a helipad. That's silly. So, I do see a number of parking spaces here off to my right. And we'll try to use those to park. And I think we're all right, more or less. So maybe not the prettiest parking job in the world, but, or on the other hand, not too bad. I'll straighten out a little bit because I'm anal like that. All right, good enough. Got to be careful. Next thing I know, I'll crash into a building. All right, so we'll go ahead and turn on the parking brake and kill the engine. Fuel selector off. Acknowledge the alarms. Depressurize. Inertial separators off. And the airplane shut down. All right, so that's that. Cedar City, here we are. Where to next in the ongoing adventures of 3 Whiskey Bravo? That's it.